everyone, and welcome to a special edition of P.P.C Radio show. Cynda Williams here, DJ Kid Disco with us today, out of the black, Shelly Williams, obviously, and we have a special guest, our one of our champions, Ray Mercer. He's going to join this conversation. Thank you for coming at our special bonus time. We're going to do our commercials, and then we'll be right back to dive in.
All right, sounds good.
WGFB-FM radio.
So are you ready?
Yeah. We used to be for everyone. 24/7, 365.
After these messages, we'll be right. P.P.C. yeah. P.P.C. C.P.C. yeah. Join me so we can grow together. Conversation, give that healing. Let them know what they're missing. Share with your best friend. Tell them come hear this, yeah. Don't you dream it's your blessing. It's powerful lessons, true confessions, yeah. P.P.C. yeah. A powerful tool for you. P.P.C. yeah. A powerful tool for you. P.P.C.
What a way to wake up. Oh, I'm awake now. Good morning to all of you. Thank you for joining us on the PPC Radio show. And thank you, DJ Kid Disco and Shelly Williams, for joining me as we say hi to Ray Mercer. Yes, everybody. Thank you so much. So Ray, if you are living in a hole somewhere or too young to know him, is a phenomenal boxer who is an Olympian and was a heavyweight champion for a time and very well known, iconic, as we say, in his field. So welcome to the show, Ray.
All right, great to be here.
Well, this show, we come. Are you going to give him some applause? Did I miss it?
Well, woo, woo. I want to hear some sports.
Are you kidding me? You know what? I messed up, right? You know, I need to go into sabbatical. I meant to get the interest with the ball.
Come on, now get it.
Man, that you know what that would take.
Oh, so you mean like you didn't even? Okay, no way.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll get my own music. Woo! Raven! Woo! Let's get hype! Woo! It may be the morning, let's get hype. Woo! Woo!
What's the boy name that introduced?
Mama said knock you out. No, I don't know.
No, let's get ready to rumble.
But don't put that on there. That's on the copyright. You better not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who was that? Michael Buffer.
Yeah, Michael
Right.
Buffer. I was trying.
That thing is copyrighted. You better not put that on there. That's
Yeah, we can
you
refer
can't
to
use
it. We can refer to it. Better not do
He
that.
said, listen, I remember meeting him on the plane, and he was like, listen, he was giving us, breaking it down. He's like, it's trademark, and say you got the bag. No.
Especially if it's on a platform like this. So.
But we can say, Mama said knock you out. What?
Yeah.
I'm going to knock you out.
Well, that's copyrighted too.
Yeah, but you could say that he really trademarked that during that whole particular line so that nobody else can say it, so he can make his money in sports.
Right, exactly. So Ray, not everyone that watches the show actually listens to the podcast, so we'll get into a tiny bit of how you began this whole lifestyle of becoming an athlete and a boxer. And by the way, we were doing a little tech thing and you were setting things up. You got a T-shirt on. I noticed those muscles are massive. Do you still work out?
They're not massive. No, the only thing I do is working out for is I just walk around, go fishing, and I got a granddaughter that's 4, and I just chase her around. That's the only training I get. But that's all I really need,
Right. So that's muscle memory. Is that just the muscle just stayed right there? I noticed it too, but I ain't saying that. I was like, well, okay, I saw the little muscle.
Y'all better quit lying because I don't have no muscles, man.
You did. You went like this, and the thing, I was like, oh, he got the muscles. I was like, oh,
Well,
he's
you know
not.
how they say TV puts 10 pounds on you, where the phone puts like 20.
You might be right about that, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, it looked from the average person's point of view who doesn't have anything right there.
Yeah.
Right of it. So okay, so how'd you begin, for those that did not, shame on you, listen to the podcast. How did you begin?
Well, after high school, I stayed around, hanging around in the streets a little bit. You know, on a military base. My father was in the military, so you know, I wasn't doing anything. So he marched me down to the recruiter station, and I signed up. He signed me up for the military, and I joined the Army. And I was in the Army for 2 years before I got introduced to boxing. I was stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, my first 2 years in the military. Didn't know anything about boxing, didn't have a dream about it. I used to just watch it with my father. I went overseas, and I got stationed in Schweinfurt, Germany, and I was walking around the motor pool talking trash and everything, like with the big muscles that I really did have that you guys are talking about. And as you know, we had the heavyweight champ in our unit, so our and also his trainer. So I was walking around the motor pool just talking trash, you know, looking big and everything, and then he asked me if I'd be a sparring partner, you know, for his heavyweight. And I told him, you know, we had a 30-day field problem coming up, and you know, it's called Reforger. It's where, you know, different armies around the world get together, and we have like war games to see, you know, where the weaknesses and everything are. People get killed, they get ran over by tanks. It's ice and snow out there. It's a war game. So I told him when he asked me if I would do that, I told him after I get back from that exercise that I would be glad to do it. He told me if I said yes, that I wouldn't have to go. So y'all know what I said. I said yes.
Yes.
You know, 1983 was the first time I put on the pair of gloves. It was in the gym, and I got my butt whooped for like 2 months or about a month before I asked this guy to show me how to defend myself. And he showed me, and I went on to win 13 fights. After making the heavyweight quit, after 2 months, I made him quit, and I went on to win 13 fights over in Germany, losing the fight Usher championship. I would have been Usher champion. I'd have won that, but that's basically how I got started.
So that means that you didn't have to do the actual. So once you get into the fighting in the military, does that mean you didn't have to do the other assignments? That means that was your career at that moment, or?
That means like on the weekends, they say you see all you can be in the military. They have basketball, football, everything. They have all kind of sports also. So you know, you get time, you get half a day off to go train. You know, and you know, that was I really like that too. That, you know, that's really what helped me get motivated to want to stay into boxing. Not just get out of the field, but it was something that, you know, that I was learning that I never learned before, and that's always interesting if you guys don't know. And it just took a hold of me, man. I was gone. That was it.
Wow. I didn't realize that war games actually resulted in death sometimes. People actually get hurt in the war games, huh?
Oh, killed.
Wow.
I mean, they say you can't sleep on tanks and stuff, so we have to sleep on the ground. So people get ran over by tanks and everything. I mean, it's all kind of accidents that happen in Reforger, you know. People are gonna die. Not a lot of people, you know, maybe one or two, but you know, it happens.
Because the goal is to prepare you for actual war, right?
It is, exactly. You have to do wartime things, you know. You have to, you know, nobody, you know, there's always somebody up, and you're watching the guards. It's always, you know, there's always something going on, you know. And I was infantry, and all we do is we move at night. So, you know, a lot of people get hurt at night and all that stuff. It's tough, but you know, it's kind of fun.
Well, no, that's the first time I ever heard anybody say that. Fun. But I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked it.
And it was fun. It was fun. Sometimes in the summertime, it was fun for me because I can't stand the cold. I don't like the cold. I really don't.
Yeah, you're from the South, so I'm surprised you're up east right now, right?
Well, I'm in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
I was born in Florida. I I'm a military brat, so I've been everywhere.
You've been everywhere, but you rather fond of the warm weather.
Yes, I love warm. I'd rather be hot than cold any day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Well, let's get into the boxing, because I know that is what a lot of people know you for and want to hear about. So Eddie, if you got questions, you can dive on in. Oh,
I just want to, all right, so you talk about boxing. He came from, all right, yeah, that's from the military. Then what was your first fight? Like, so now, all right, you coming out of the military. Thank you, God. Thank God you made it. Whoop, whoop. So what was your first fight out of the military?
Well, I was still in the military. I went on, 1983, I started boxing. In 1988, 5 years later, I winning the gold medal in the Olympics.
What?
So, and I was still in the military and everything, you know. So that was kind of neat. And I'm still stationed over in Germany. So I had to come back to the States after winning the gold medal and then go back to my unit over in Germany. If you haven't been in the military, then you know that was something else, because I couldn't stay in the barracks because everybody would be bothering me. I didn't know this at the time. I don't know nothing about being no celebrity, nothing. I just know I won a gold medal and everybody was trying to, talk to me and give me stuff and everything. So I had a trainer over there, my trainer over in Germany when I went back. I couldn't stay in the barracks, so they told me I could stay in their house with them, and I stayed there, and I sort of felt bad because then everybody bombarded their house, because of me. But, they loved it, everybody loved it. It was a really great experience, man, and I would cherish it for the rest of my life, believe me.
Back then, they didn't have, like, I don't know if they had it, but I don't know anything about it. But did they have endorsements back then? Like, you didn't understand the magnitude of how amazing that is to have a gold medal. Like, that's amazing. But were you able to get endorsement deals like they do now?
Well, in the amateurs, you're not really supposed to, but yes, you do get those.
mm-hmm.
It's like under the rug type things, where you have somebody that's going to sign you when you turn pro. They hook you up with, certain things, It happens.
Oh, well, good. I just want to make sure, because, right about now, it seems like everybody, you get a gold medal, you rich automatically right now. Just rich. Automatically.
Well, you have a chance to make a lot of money. I mean, boxers, different sports are different things. Like if you win a gold in track and field, that's your whole thing. They have tournaments throughout the whole year for those, like world tournaments and all that, and they get big time endorsements and everything. So it's big time.
Did you get a chance to meet any of the, like, throughout the years, if you go back to the Olympics? Because there was a boxer named Virgil Hill. You remember him?
Do I? I love Virgil.
I do too, man. I was like, I need to, that's on my bucket list. I need to meet Virgil.
Oh, you need to meet Virgil?
I need to meet Virgil Hill.
He's a very nice guy, man. I loved him. I had his trainer, my last days, I had him as trainer as a trainer, and he used to come around to the gym. I've never seen anybody train harder than Virgil Hill. I'm gonna tell you, that dude was a real deal.
Yeah, y'all keep in touch. There you go. Y'all keep in touch. No, I'm just playing.
I talk to him every now and then. It's been a while, but I can get a hold of him anytime I want to.
Okay,
all right.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. That's where I fell in love with boxing at that moment when I saw him come up on there, and I was like, okay, yes, Virgil. Me and my mother and I were there every day, like
watching. Yeah, Virgil had a lot of ladies watching him. Tell you.
So now I got my questions.
All right, I was giving my questions before you started.
You know what? You was good. I like those. That was
good.
Right.
All right. Yeah.
Who was on the Olympic team with you?
Riddick Bowe, Roy Jones, Kennedy McKinney, Andrew Maynard, Todd Foster. He was the only white guy on the team. We had Arthur Johnson. We had. I can't mention all of them right now.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
That's a good.
No, that was a good team. That was like. See, with the Olympic boxing teams, you pretty much get ready to see who's getting ready to dominate what division.
Yeah.
So your division, y'all had some killers in there. You, Riddick Bowe.
Wow, imagine that. So after you go to the one, you win the gold, do you go back every year with the same team, or how does that work?
Well, with me, it's only a one-time thing for me. I think, in boxing, they have a guy that's been to the Olympics 3 times, I think, a boxer. I don't know where he's from, but, it's so hard. One time is all it takes for a boxer. I mean, you win a gold medal. I don't even want to go back to the Olympics again. I done accomplished, I done rose to the top, I done accomplished that goal. So it was only a one-time thing for me, but there are people like the young people that's like 16, they might go to the Olympics, until they're maybe 18 a couple of times. I mean, after that, they might go
most
to the
Olympics. Most of y'all go pro. Well, most of y'all go pro after that.
Yeah, after that, it's pro time if you want to go medal.
Now, like I said, I told you earlier, I got a gang of questions.
Just hear them, bro.
Here's the first one everybody's asking. And if y'all didn't listen to the podcast, shame on y'all, because this question was answered on the podcast. Can't answer it, but I'm asking you since we're in the radio show. Why didn't, first of all right, let me start with my question. How did you even get to Tommy Morrison? Because if memory serves me correctly, was he ranked high enough to, because you were champion already. Yeah. You already had the belt.
Yeah.
He came right out of that Rocky movie and shot right up past some folks that he should not have shot past.
Yeah.
For real. Like, how did he even get to sign the contract to fight you like a month after Rocky?
I don't know, man. When you're dealing with Bob Arum, the motors and all that stuff, it just happens. I beat the guy in the Olympic trials and everything with no problem. I don't know what the hell they was thinking about this guy that he can beat me now, but they did. He was, partially I have to tell you, because he was white. He got that shot. I was kind of pissed, because I was champion and they had him as the favorite to win the fight.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't believe that. And then I come find out, my trainer tells me that I'm only getting $50,000 more than this guy, and I'm champ.
Wow.
So I'm like bugging on that. So he tells me to call Bob Arum and ask Bob why. So I called Bob Arum and I asked him. I said, "Why am I only getting? And I'm champion. Why am I only getting $50,000 more than Tommy Morrison?"
Wow.
He told me, and I respect him because he told the truth. He said because he's white.
Said it straight up.
He told me that, man. And now, it makes all the sense. Well, now that Black Lives Matter comes out, now all these stories that how we've been getting treated, people are starting to see now. That's why I can tell this story now, because people can understand it, because it's just not right, for one thing. And they just pissed me off that whole fight, because I was champ and I'm only getting $50,000 more than him, and I'm champ and they have him winning the fight. So you can sort of see. You can sort of see what some of the anger did come.
Oh, we saw it, bro. You beat that boy
so
like
you whipping like, listen, forget that white privilege. I got you.
Yeah.
So the other question is that you already got into: why did the ref take like damn near 5 minutes to get out the way? To stop the fight.
I think you'd have to ask him. I don't know. I think maybe he wasn't in position. He was in the back of me, and I was throwing fast and hard. I think he was just in the wrong position. He was just in the wrong position. Tommy Morrison was knocked out a couple of times. He should have stopped the fight, but I was always taught to keep on going, especially with the things that was going on. I just black out when I get like that. When I get somebody in trouble, when I know the fight will be over, I just go. And I just black out and just keep going until somebody pulls me off, and that's what happened. And that's the way we was taught in the military to fight.
So I want to get in your brain for a minute. When you did, first of all, who did you beat to get the belt?
Beat Francisco Damiani.
Okay. How did you feel when you damn, I'm champ, I got the belt?
I really couldn't believe it, because when I was fighting for that title, man, I was fighting this guy. He was a southpaw. He He looked like he was obese a little bit. You know, he didn't like he was really in shape. But he didn't look like a fighter. He looked like he was fast, that he had power and anything. But I couldn't be more wrong, man. I got in there with that guy, and that guy was everything I thought he was. He was fast. He was fast. He was powerful, and he could move. And he was whooping my butt for 9 rounds. I mean, it was a 12-round fight. It was fighting for the WBO title. For 9 rounds, every round I went back to the corner, I kept telling my trainer, I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. I knew I was going to get him, but, you know, it was 9 rounds now. I told these people I'm going to get this guy, and I was thinking to myself, I'm going to get him. So 9th round came, and the bell rung, went in there, you know, he continued to outbox me and everything, and then he leaned in one time, and I threw a punch that I've never threw in a fight. It's just one of those things, like, you know, if you're in the gym, you just playing around and you just throw that thing like an up jab. I just throw like up jab. You don't throw it in a fight, but I throw it, I just practice on it all the time, on the bag. And I threw that punch, man, in that fight, and it landed. And it landed right on the tip of his nose. And he leaned on me. I didn't know he was knocked out, but then he fell and there was blood everywhere, and I could not believe I was champion. So it was very sweet for me, man, because I was getting my butt whooped the whole time. One punch changed that whole fight.
Wow.
Did you use that punch again? Is that your signature punch now?
No, I never used it again. I never did. It's just a bag thing. I never would get my butt whooped like that. That's why I probably never used it. But after that, I never got whooped like that. That dude was whooping me, I'm telling you. So
Was it because you back in those days, did you do as much watching of your opponent and studying their styles before you fought them?
Evidently, you know, the trainers, they used to try to show it to you and all that other stuff. You look at it one time, you see the way the guy looked, you be like, I don't want to see it no more, you know. I was just sort of big-headed, just wanted to go medal, you know. I just thought I was going to win, but like I said, I could have been more wrong, and I should have been paying attention to those tapes.
But you won anyway.
Listen to all you fighters out there. Check out your opponent. Believe me, you can learn a lot by watching him on tapes, by watching his fights. You can learn a great deal, and I recommend every fighter out there that they do that, amateur or pro. I don't care. You got to know what you're up against.
So do you only have to stick to the main punch, the right jab, the left hook, the uppercut? Is it only those particular sequences, or can you add your own one?
You can do anything you want in there to get that guy out of there. You can throw anything. You can throw practice punches, anything, long as it's legal and all that. But I was trying to hit the guy, but he was just moving, you know, and he was a southpaw, and that means he was left-handed. So, you know, and I'm right-handed. So I told her right there, you have to throw different punches when you're fighting the southpaw, and I just like doing that. Southpaw
jinx, they do everything backwards.
Yeah, it's just opposite of what you do.
Yeah, nobody likes to fight a southpaw.
Because then you're used to somebody coming at you with the right, the left, so now you got to do it the different ways. Like, oh shit, wait, me coming from this side.
Yeah, you got to do it from a different way now. It does, it really does throw you off. But you know what? I've always had fear of fighting at southpaw, but I realize now that I won all my shit. I won all my stuff from fighting the southpaw. The Korean the gold medal round, when I fought the Korean for the gold, he was a southpaw. It didn't make a difference. I wasn't even thinking about that then. You know, I just knew I wanted the medal. And when I fought for the WBO title, he was a southpaw. You know, so I actually do good against southpaws. Except for that last one now. The Korean didn't have a chance. I was gonna kill him. But the professional, the Italian guy, that guy, it took some work. Hey, one punch. And it took a lot of guts and a lot of heart to stay in there. The way that guy was beating me, to stay in there and have the confidence that I had to get in there like I was gonna win. And I won. I threw that one punch. And that's all it takes.
That was my question. It's like anybody that does that kind of sport, I mean, talking about having to take your hits and keep on going. What's your mental, do you have something that you do like in your mind? What do you think when you're getting hit and whatever to keep going?
My thing, I always, this works for me. I don't know if it works for everybody, but before a fight, every fight, I just go in there fight knowing I'm gonna get hit. Knowing I'm gonna get hit, you know. And it's just like a sparring session, you're gonna get hit then too. So you do go in there looking at it like you're sparring, really. You do the same thing you're doing in the gym. But the punches are a little harder because the gloves are a little smaller, and you know, and it's a real fight guy really trying to take your head off. And you know, that's just where it is.
So real quick,
seems like a good metaphor for life. You know,
it is just knowing you're gonna take ups and downs, and knowing, and it's a life learning session. It really is. This is everyday life that I do this, and you do it. Everybody does it. Everybody does this. You get up in the morning knowing, hey, I'm gonna have to go.
I know it's almost time for a break, but I gotta ask this question for my wife. Why do I know the reason why, but I want you to explain it. So why do you wear headgear in the amateur, but you don't wear headgear in the pros?
I don't know. I think what you just said speaks for itself. And if you're amateur, you wear headgear so you don't get hurt. You know, which is the name of the game, is to knock somebody out, to hurt somebody. You know, but I don't know, the way they come down now with concussions and everything like that. You know, they want just young people, you know, to wear headgear. When you turn pro, it's open season. You're already supposed to know what you're gonna do and everything else. And that's when all the brain damage starts. when you take that headgear off. But the headgear helps. I don't knock people out with headgear on too, though, but you know, they help a little bit.
Well, okay. Well, on that note, I want some headgear. And we're going to go to commercial break. Our one commercial before we wrap it up with Ray for the next half an hour. I can't wait for more. See you guys in a couple of minutes. Please come back, share for Ray Mercer, P.P.C Radio Show.
WGFB-FM radio.
So are you ready?
We used to be something for everyone. 24/7, 365.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Cynda Williams here, and welcome to the Grown Folks Radio World. Wednesday afternoons from 2 to 4 Eastern, I host the P.P.C Radio Show with Shelly Williams.
Hey everybody, it's Shell Williams, Philly's Oprah.
We got some important stuff to talk about.
Fridays at noon Eastern, I present the P.P.C Podcast. It drops on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, and many more. Please join me for real talk, great guests, lots of laughs, and powerful, precious conversations that can fill your self-help treasure chest with gems.
And don't forget to join the ladies of Grown Folks on Melanated After Dark.
Listen, you only think you know Cynda Williams, co-host of the P.P.C Radio Show and the Melanated Morning Show. You've seen her in films with some of the GOATs. You may have even heard her sing her way to the top. You don't have to judge the book by its cover. You can get the book and read it cover to cover. I'm talking about Pink Panty Confessions by Cynda Williams, available in paperback and digital format in all good bookstores. I would probably look in Amazon.
Pink Panty Confessions, the book.
Hey, yo, you think it's so game? Y'all gon' make me lose my mind. X gon' give it to you. Yo, get it twisted. This rap shit is mine. 1, 2, 1, 2, come through, 1, 2. Gun who? Oh, you don't know what the gun do? Right here long enough now. Stop being greedy. Just keep it real, partner. Let's get it on. Down, open up shop. Oh, no. That's how rough riders roll. Yo, I'm slipping from the fall. I can't get up. I hate who I love. I was born to die. Wings but can't fly. First things first. I will until I'm stretched in a hearse.
The COVID-19 vaccines can be our chance to get back to our plans, who we are, what we miss, to get back to each other, to life. But it's okay to have questions, like, how were the vaccines tested? In rigorous clinical trials among adults of diverse backgrounds. Can the vaccines give you COVID-19? You cannot get COVID-19 from a vaccine. Why should I get vaccinated? Protecting yourself also helps protect the people around you. Find the latest information at getvaccineanswers.org.
WGFB-FM radio. So are you ready? Yeah. How it used to be. For everyone. 24/7, 365.
P.P.C, 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 yeah. P.P.C, 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 yeah. Join me so we can grow together. Conversation, get that healing. Let them know what they're missing. Share with your best friend. Tell them come hear this, yeah. Don't you dare miss your blessings. Powerful lessons, true confessions, yeah. P.P.C, yeah. A powerful tool for you. P.P.C, yeah. A powerful tool for you and me. P.P.C,
Welcome back to the PPC Radio Show. So, Ray, we usually do this at the beginning, but we wanted to dive right in on a conversation with you about you. But Shelly Shell put the question to him.
All right. I don't know if you heard the intro. True confession. So it's true confession time.
Okay.
Any true confession. But what is one true confession that you had that somebody might know, might be a secret, but nothing deep? It could be whatever you want. But a true confession. It could be funny too.
A true confession.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's one.
Mm.
I confess that my wife done whooped my ass a couple of times.
Go ahead, why? What? Who
Yeah,
in the world?
I will do that right there. That just empowers the women to know that if I got a woman that can beat up the heavyweight champ, then you know who got the power. The women got the power. The only people I lose to is my wife. I lose to her. I don't win that battle.
We're supposed to follow suit, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
follow suit. But it has to be on the same subject, Eddie.
I know. I'm gonna go ahead and dive in. Listen, I run absolutely nothing here. My wife runs this whole camp, like
everything.
Do y'all really think Obama ran the White House, people? Michelle ran that.
Yeah. That's right. Women rule the world.
But I do get the big piece of chicken.
You do?
That's because she don't like white meat. That's the only reason why.
Oh wow, I know something like that.
Yeah.
But what I love is that you guys have the confidence to, because obviously women are physically, some of us, not all of us, are physically weaker. You know, we have different body structures, we're different habits. We have, you know, and from my experience, I've dealt with very, 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 very strong men, but they're not strong emotionally and with character like you, because you give your women power. You empower them and pull the best out of them by by being vulnerable. And I think that's like one of the most strong, most confident thing a man can do.
Because y'all have better lawyers.
Wait, let this be a lesson. Let this be a lesson. How many years have you been married?
32.
32 years. So anybody out there is listening, I want you to understand, 32 years. I want you to listen to the advice. Listen to your wife. Let her win. She rules the world. I want to make sure it's clear, because there's some men watching. Women know best.
Yeah.
Speaking
I'm
of
not gonna
that,
argue with that, I have nothing bad to say about that right there.
Shelly, is anybody leaving any messages? Because I can't see any.
It's plenty over there. I had to put my glasses to see. Hold on. Let me see.
Oh, okay. We have
All
people
right.
right now.
James Patterson said good morning. Malik Ishmael said Ray looks like he can still go a few quality rounds. And again, thanks for defeating Tommy Morrison so thoroughly. A lot of trash talk before the fight. Was it? I need to hear the trash talk. I think boxers are the best condition of all sports, with strength, endurance, and potentially life risking in terms. That's true, right? Life risking in terms of sport. Vaughn said good morning. James said, if the Morrison fight went the distance and it was obvious to everyone watching that you won, do you think the judges would have saw it differently? Ooh, good question. Because weren't the judges all white? I'm just asking. I don't know.
Well, oh yeah, okay.
You can answer that.
Oh, you want me to answer that?
Yeah.
We was always taught to never leave it to the judges, so that question. It's a good thing I didn't have to go through that, but we always taught you to take it out of the judges' hands by knocking them out. If you knock them out, the judges. But I know you asked the question if I'd have been beating him like that for another 7 rounds, I think they would have. Yeah, I think they would have gave it to him, because they did everything else. I only got 5. I only got 50,000 more. I was champ, and he was favored to win. Why wouldn't I think they would have stolen it? Hell yeah, they would have taken it.
Wow.
He was the 90s version of the Great White Hope. Every generation has one.
That's right. I had one in mind.
Well, that's a good question. The next question was, who are your top 5 boxers, and also who are your favorite 5 boxers?
My favorite 5?
Mm-hmm.
Me, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard. There's a lot of them, man. Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Those right there, Roberto Loren, I can go on forever. Virgil Hill, one of my favorite fighters.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I watched him on the '84 Olympics when I first started boxing, man. And that's the first time I seen Virgil, and I got a chance to meet him, hang with him, and everything.
Telling you, my mama it was my mama. Blame her. She was right there, like, come on, watch this. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, oh man, yes.
Yeah.
So Ray, I'm going to put you on the spot.
That's hard to do.
What's your opinion of the boxing sport itself, and more importantly, the heavyweight division? Because real quick, I'm gonna just say the heavyweight division sucks.
Yeah, it do now. I think back in my days, man, I think I came up with the last batch of real fighters. Now, all our trainers are going overseas training all these overseas champions, making that money. But they're forgetting about our fighters. You know what I'm saying? They're not all our top trainers are going elsewhere and training other people. Or you got the other trainers that want to get out there and they want to do that Floyd Mayweather with the mitt thing, that and all that, which don't help you at all in boxing. It just makes the trainer look good. And I think it's too much of that going on, man. I think too many trainers are trying to outshine the fighters. And by doing all that crap, man. That's why, people are not in love with boxing as they used to be, because you don't know half the people that's fighting, for one thing.
Exactly.
You don't know. People couldn't tell you the heavyweight champion of the world.
Yo, Ray, on some real stuff, I haven't seen a good fight since the Klitschko brothers, to be honest with you.
I know it.
And it's sad that they're the last true heavyweights that I remember. Then you start coming out with the jokes like Butterbean, and come on, man. Like, I
always thought that was crazy for a rounder. But boxing gotta have anything, And it's boxing ain't a game. If you get hit, whether it's 4 rounds or whatever rounds. But I give him credit because he came up with he got the 4. He's champ with the 4 rounders. I always wanted to go in there and knock him out. I know damn well I'd have knocked him out.
So I'm gonna ask you a crazy question. Mike Tyson did it, Floyd did it, even Butterbean did it. A lot of boxers wound up doing a little thing in WWF in WrestleMania. Would you have done that? Because I've heard a couple boxers who approach like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. That's beneath me.
If you're gonna get paid, yes. I would do that in a heartbeat. I came up watching WWF, man. I came up watching that stuff, man.
Okay.
I really did, man. I love it.
Okay.
And I'm glad they come up with something that these guys, WWF guys, they can do, or these wrestlers coming out of college and high school that they can do now, which is MMA. Mm-hmm. They get paid now for doing it, which usually they couldn't. They had to go to the WWF to make a little money and be fake and all that other stuff. Now they can actually get into the mixed martial arts and wrestling and all that stuff, without going that route. So I think that's a great thing. MMA is a great thing for the wrestlers. And I also did 2 MMA fights also.
Mm-hmm.
I did that. I wanted to be like Muhammad Ali too. Like he fought that wrestler to step on his foot all the time. I wanted to be like him. Yeah. I did two MMA fights. I did my first one with Kimbo Slice.
You fought Kimbo?
I fought his first fight, his first MMA fight.
That was a big deal.
I did. I fought him, man, and I'm gonna tell you what happened. I'm not in the game. I'm trying to make me a little money. You know what I'm saying? So at 4 o'clock in the morning, before we was training for the fight and all that, I'm tapping on my wife, and she sleeps. She wakes up. She be like, "What the hell are you doing?" I say, "Shut up, go back to sleep. I'm practicing." So I was like practicing to tap out. Because it's not, I'm just trying to get a little money and all that.
You just trying to get that dough. Like,
I tried to beat that dude, man, but what he did, he took me down. He came over there, and I thought he was going to box by looking at all this tape, the street fights and all that stuff, right?
Right.
I thought he was going to come over there and do that, but what he did, he came over there and did a little fast thing right quick, and I just covered up, and I was waiting on him to stop, and then he just went for my leg, and I was like, oh, Lord. He got my leg and took me down, and then when he took me down, I was on my back, and then he was on top of me. He didn't get one lick in. And then I pushed him off, and I rolled over. When I pushed him off, I rolled over on him to get on top of him, but my head went right under his arm, man. I rolled right under his arm. He just clamped down, and I was like, yo, I just tapped out because I had knee surgery and everything. And my second one was my last fight. That was in 2009 against 5-time world champ Tim Sylvia. You know him?
Yes. I've seen.
All right. Did you see that fight?
I didn't see that particular. I'm going to.
Well, you got to watch that fight. That was my last fight, man. I knocked that dude out in 9 seconds. One punch, and then he was down.
Is that considered a fight?
Well, I mean, he did the best he could. I mean, he thought he was gonna win that. He thought I was gonna do what I did with Kimbo and then tap out. He tried to kick me one little time. Thought I was gonna go down, but then I rocked him and I caught him with that right hand, and then I seen he was down, and I jumped on him hit him with a hammer fist once, real good in the nose, and then I tried to hit him again, and the referee pushed me on.
So let me ask you a question, right? Who did you always want to fight that you never got a chance to fight?
Mike Tyson.
Oh yeah, we talked about that on the podcast. Can you go into that a little bit? Why you and Mike never fought? That's a lot of people.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Before he sent me a contract, my dream coming out of the Olympics was to fight Mike Tyson. I mean, he was the best. He's tearing up everybody. So basically, you being the heavyweight, you got to face him. So I was preparing myself the whole time, man, and I really thought I'd do good against somebody like Mike because he just ain't gonna get in there and just knock me out. I ain't going nowhere. I'm staying right there. I don't care how hard you hit me or whatnot. But that fight right there would have let people know how, on a real scale of, what kind of fighter I really was. I think fighting him would have made my pockets heavy, but it would have made me. He would have seen how tough I really am.
But the fact that you got a belt, period. I mean, they wasn't giving them away back then.
No. And I really thought And I think to this day, like, I could have beat Mike Tyson. I could have. I think I could have beat Mike. That's the fight right there that I really wanted. I fought everybody else. I fought Lennox Lewis, Holyfield. I fought all them other guys. But
so Mike is
Tyson,
the only one that
Tyson
got away from you.
Huh?
Mike is the only fight that got away from you that really would have put
Yeah,
you
man. I thought I had a contract. I signed the contract because he seen me over in Germany take a stumble when I took a punch, and then his manager told us, we flew on the same plane, told us not to take no fights, and they will send us a contract, and they did, and I signed it and sent it back. And next thing you know, Lennox Lewis, he was supposed to fight him before me. He had a contract, so they took it to court. Lennox Lewis took it to court, and Lennox got the fight.
Oh, wow.
I never got the fight, man. I never got the fight.
They took y'all to court over. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, Lennox Lewis took us to court, or took, the contract that they had to court, and the judge ruled that Mike had to fight him.
So you just didn't fight it? So you just didn't fight it, like, is that what it is? So since you had the contract, you could afford it? You could afford it?
Yeah, but I never got a contract back from him.
Oh, okay.
So, and then that Lennox Lewis thing came up, and, that was it,
Can I switch gears just for a little bit? We don't have much more time. I just wanted to ask you about your fame, how you have dealt with I can only imagine how many people recognize you, and how has that affected your life?
Well, it's good and bad, because one thing, I'm just a regular person. I don't like all that celebrity thing, and that's what most people say about me. They say, "Man, you real, man. You come up and talk to me and everything." I'm the same as I've always been, man. I love it though, when you go places and people recognize you. I mean, who wouldn't love that, And so I received that very well, and I also, use my status, to try to help out with the kids with bullying. I got all kind of programs going with the bullying, and everything. I got that going on with the bullying, man. And that really hits home. That's really what I try to preach to these kids about, how to deal with bullies and everything. Which,
what would you say?
I was about to say it. How do you say it as a boxer? Like, don't hit them.
Okay. So this is what I say. People laugh, and I say, look, if you get bullied, I say the last thing a bully wants is you to stand up for yourself. So as soon as you pop it one time, he'll never mess with you again. That's what I tell him. But then I have to come back and say, you might get in trouble doing that. So the best thing to do is, you got to talk to people, tell somebody, talk to your parents, your teachers, or whatnot, and try to deal with it that way, And if that don't work, then you got to clap them. That's what I tell them. I tell them straight up. That's what I tell my kids. I'm not going to tell anybody else's kids to do something out, that I wouldn't
That's what I tell them. I used to tell my kids, I told my grandson, the best way to get rid of a bully is become the bully.
That's right. I mean, you came up. I mean, that's how you came up. That's how you deal with. That's how you deal with bullies. I ain't have a bully in my life, but I've seen people get bullied all the time. And
most bullies can't fight anyway, so
they can't. That's why they find the weak ones.
Right.
That's why they find the weak ones. All you gotta do is clock them one time. That's my tell. And if I tell them, if I'm at a different type of school, I tell them, tell your parents and talk to them. But if I'm being real, I'm tell you what I tell my kids: clock them. They will not mess with you. That's what you have to do. That bully will not mess with you.
It's funny because my daughter, I don't know if I told y'all this story. My daughter had never fought before, even though she has this rage. Rage in her, and I think she could hurt. She's pretty hardcore, and this girl just attacked her. And my daughter just let her. And I was like, what the heck? Why did you
That makes you so mad right there. That makes you so mad right there.
Oh, I was like, why'd you do that? She said, because you told me not to fight. I said, I told you not to pick a fight. I didn't say if somebody hit you, you better hit them back.
Yeah, that's right. That's the way to tell them right there.
Yeah, that's my niece is going through that. I got a little niece, got two girls threatening her and stuff like that. Just had that conversation with her. She's little, tiny bitty thing. I'm like, gone. If they mess with you, let them have it. You know. I'm sorry.
That's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do. Fight back.
But you gotta train them. See, that's the thing. Since you have a youth program, you can train them. Like, listen, this is the proper way to throw a punch.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of kids, we do that too. We tell them to sign up for, you know, like boxing and mixed martial arts. Mixed martial arts is real good on discipline, and it teach you how to defend yourself. So those boxing classes and the other classes that my mind just went blank. Who was talking about signing up for like MMA or any type of sport,
like kickboxing.
Yeah, like kickboxing, anything like that will help you. It will give you more confidence for one thing, and it will help you show you how to defend yourself.
And the thing about it, back in the day, if you had a beef in the neighborhood, if your father was, somebody brought them gloves out. All right, y'all got a problem?
Yeah. That's real old school. That's where it needs to be right now to this day too.
But it's not. That's
they're
gonna
go get guns. They're gonna go pick up guns and stuff.
It's the saddest thing ever because you can't.
Y'all heard it from Mr. Ray Mercer, world champ. Fight back, but learn how to do it.
Get into the gym. Sign up for some classes for mixed martial arts, boxing classes, and I'm telling you, confidence will go to the sky. It will teach you how to defend yourself, man, and then you won't have to. So I give that advice to all the kids. Hey, go sign up for something, man.
Sign up for something, but the unfortunate thing nowadays, that was good advice, but nowadays it's just so different. Like, we could say, go ahead and do it, but the next day they may come back with their friends with the guns, and they might have a gun. You know, that's the saddest thing now. Definitely take the lessons so you can know, but be careful out here.
That's right. You have to be.
Yeah, you don't want to go looking for a fight. That's for sure.
No.
All right. Well, we are at the end of our hour.
Already?
Yeah. No, time flew.
Can I ask Ray one more question from a DJ standpoint?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your favorite genre of music? What's your favorite type of music?
My favorite type of music? Man, I like old school music. I like all kind of music, to tell the truth. But I like almost everything. I like the old school music, man. I like old music.
The oldies R&B.
Yeah, the oldies. Like
the oldies,
back in the 70s and the 80s. Those type of songs. And I also like jazz too. I did most of my training when I was in the Olympics, I was listening to Paul Hardcastle, Rainforest. I love jazz.
Really?
Yeah. That's one of my main songs. And Alexander O'Neal, that dude right there. Yeah.
Okay, all right, right.
I like rap. I listen to Chris Brown. I listen to all the rap now. I can listen to everything, man.
Yeah, classic. All right, Ray. Well, thank you so much. If people want to reach out or just follow your career, we know Wikipedia, all that kind of stuff. Do you have any like social media or way fans can reach you?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what my website is. I got to get that. I guess I got to start knowing what that is.
Well, y'all,
you have a website, but are you on social media? You're not on social media at all?
Yes, I am.
In other words, when your name gets in Wikipedia, you really don't need much else. Just Google.
Yeah. But if y'all want to support him, check him out. Look him up on social media. Ray Mercer. Thank you so much. Shelly, you got anything you want to share?
No, just follow me on Instagram. 30 interviews in 30 days is over. Now we're doing Women's History Month every Thursday.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'm gonna get Virgil Hill's number.
Yeah. And she just made me.
I'm gonna tell him he has a fan that he has to call and talk to.
Yes, please. Yes, please. It was honestly my mother would like.
Oh, your mother.
Her.
Oh, okay.
But me too. She got me there, so that would be so exciting. My mother was.
Okay, I'm gonna try to do that. I'm gonna try to do that.
Thank you so much. Yes.
I'll get back with Cindy on that.
All right.
Well,
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, you got something you want to announce right quick?
Man, today is the day. Well, just every day at 2:00, we just started the old school lunch hip hop mix. And I'm in that zone today. So we doing the whole 90s backpack type of thing.
Oh, I'm turning it on. I'm packing today, so I'm going to have that on.
And Sunday.
Hey, Cindy.
Mhm.
Could
Yeah.
you give him my number so he can call me?
I sure can. I
Yeah.
will. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I would be honored. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk, right? On Sundays now at 2:00, we got the, it's called Simply Just the Culture. And that's with me and my man. You met him, Cynda. He was on the show with us. My man, Big French, we then got together. He's a producer extraordinaire of hip hop. We're going to talk about hip hop, DJ, and all that stuff. We might have you on the show one day, Ray.
Oh, that'd be good too.
Yeah, you're iconic. You're a part of that culture. This Friday, please check out the PPC podcast with Y Money. We are going back to ladies of hip hop. Y Money from Philadelphia. She's amazing. She's got a great story to tell. So on Anchor, Spotify, etc. Please check out the PPC podcast with Y Money. And next week, she will join us Wednesday on the show, PPC Radio Show. Thank you so much, Ray Mercer. You're an amazing man. I think you're so great, and I love your story. Thank you for your time, and thank you for everyone that listened. God bless you all. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next time.
Go Sixers.
All right. All right.
Bye, y'all.